राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय विजय गौरांग दयाल निताय, विजय गौरांग दयाल निताय। जय प्रभुपद प्रभुपद प्रभुपद, जय प्रभुपद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सरस्वती अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। संवेद भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री विजय गौरांग दयाल निताई की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. Today we will be reading from Canto 1, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 5. The name of the chapter is Narada's Instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 22. It's there on the screen. You can repeat. Idam hi pusanstapasah srutasya va Sveshtasya suktasya cha buddhidattayo avichutorthaha kavibhir nirupito jaduttama sloka gunanuvarnanam idam hi punsa tapasah sutasya va Shvishtasya suktasya cha buddhidattayoh abhichutorthaha kavibhir nirupito yat uttama sloka gunanuvarnanam idam hi punsah tapasah srutasya va shvishtasya suktasya cha buddhidattayoh अविच्युतोऽर्थः कविभिर्निरूपितो यदुत्तमः श्लोकगुणानुवर्णनम् इदं पुंसा तपसः श्रुतस्य वा शिष्टस्य सुक्तस्य च बुद्धिदत्तयोः
Idamhi pumsa tapasa shrutasya va Shishtasya sukasya cha buddhi dataya Vichitartha kavibhir nirupito Yatuttama shloka gunarnuvarna
Idam hi pumsastapassukasya va
Idam hi pumsastapasastatasya va
Shritasya suktasya cha buddhidatayo
Shishtasya sukasya cha buddhidataya
Avichyatordhah kavibhir nirupito
Avichyatordhah kavibhir nirupito
Yad uttam slokah gunanuvarnam
Yatuttama shloka gunarnuvarna
माताजी
Idam hi pumsastapasastatasya va Shishtasya sukasya cha buddhidataya Avichyatordhah kavibhir nirupito
Yatuttama shloka gunanuvarnanam. Word to word meaning, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Idam, this, he, certainly, pumsaha, of everyone, tapasaha, by dint of austerities, shrutasya, by dint of a study of the Vedas, va, or swishtasya, sacrifice, suktasya, spiritual education, cha, and buddhi, culture of knowledge, dattayo, charity, avichyutah, infallible, artha, interest, kavibhi, by the recognized learned person, nirupitah, concluded, yat, what, uttama sloka, the Lord, who is described by choice poetry, gun anuvarnanam, description of the transcendental qualities of. Translation. Learned circles have positively concluded that the infallible purpose of the advancement of knowledge, namely austerities, studies of the Vedas, sacrifice, chanting of hymns, and charity, culminates in the transcendental description of the Lord, who is defined in choice poetry. Purport. Human intellect is developed for advancement of learning in art, science, philosophy, physics, chemistry, psychology, economics, politics, etc. By culture of such knowledge, the human societies can attain perfection of life. This perfection of life culminates in the realization of the Supreme Being, Vishnu. The Shruti therefore directs that those who are actually advanced in learning should aspire for the service of Lord Vishnu. Unfortunately, persons who are enamored by the external beauty of Vishnu Maya do not understand that culmination of perfection or self-realization depends on Vishnu. Vishnu Maya means sense enjoyment, which is transient and miserable. Those who are entrapped by Vishnu Maya utilize advancement of knowledge for sense enjoyment. Sri Narad Muni has explained that all paraphernalia of the cosmic universe is but an emanation from the Lord. Out of his different energies, because the Lord has set in motion by his inconceivable energy the actions and reactions of the created manifestation. They have come to be out of his energy, they rest on his energy, and after annihilation they merge into him. Nothing is therefore different from him. But at the same time, the Lord is always different from them. When advancement of knowledge is applied in the service of the Lord, the whole process becomes absolute. The personality of Godhead and his transcendental names, fame, glory, etc., are all non-different from him. Therefore, all the sages and devotees of the Lord have recommended that the subject matter of art, science, philosophy, physics, chemistry, psychology, and all other branches of knowledge should be wholly and solely applied in the service of the Lord. Art, literature, poetry, painting, etc., may be used in glorifying the Lord. The fiction writers, the poets, and celebrated literatures are generally engaged in writing of sensuous subjects, but if they turn towards the service of the Lord, they can describe the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Valmiki was a great poet, and similarly Vyasdev is a great writer. And both of them have absolutely engaged themselves in delineating the transcendental activities of the Lord, and by doing so have become immortal. Similarly, so science and philosophy also should be applied in the service of the Lord. There is no use presenting dry speculative theories for sense gratification. Philosophy and science should be engaged to establish the glory of the Lord. Advanced people are eager to understand the absolute truth, although through the medium science. And therefore, a great scientist should endeavor to prove the existence of the Lord on a scientific basis. Similarly, philosophical speculations should be utilized to establish the supreme truth as sentient and all powerful. Similarly, all other branches of knowledge should always be engaged in this service of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita also the same is affirmed. All knowledge not engaged in the service of the Lord is but nescience. Real utilization of advanced knowledge is to establish the glories of the Lord, and that is the real import. scientific knowledge engaged in the service of the Lord, and all similar activities are all factually Hari Kirtans or glorification of the Lord. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saha Ganalalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva cha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Idam hi punsah tapasah srutasya va Sishtasya suktasya cha buddhidattayo Abhichutorthah kavibhir nirupito yad uttama sloka gunanuvarnanam. Learned circles have positively concluded that the infallible purpose of the advancement of knowledge, namely austerities, study of the Vedas, sacrifice, chanting of hymns and charity, culminates in the transcendental description of the Lord who is defined in choice poetry. Hare Krishna. So in this verse is being spoken by Naradji, and he is speaking to Vyasadeva. So Naradji is like a spiritual master of Srila Vyasadeva ji. And the context is, all of you must be knowing that context is that after writing all the Vedic literatures, Vedas and Upanishads and Puranas, so many scriptures Ved Vyas wrote. And he did all this for the welfare of the human society. He wanted to ensure that people in general, they come out of ignorance, surrender to Krishna and utilize their human form of life to get out of the human form of life, go back to Godhead. No? And with that purpose, that is the welfare, real welfare. Of course, in the world today there are so many on the name of philanthropy and welfare. So many things going on. But all those things are useless actually, if you see in absolute term, because even if you, it's just like saving the cloth of a drowning man. Somebody is drowning in water, river or ocean, and you catch the dress of the person, and somehow you save the dress, the person dies. What is the use? Not very foolish. So the modern concept of philanthropy is just focused on the body. Because people think that we are body, we are. So whole focus of the modern civilization is on the body. So providing bodily needs, of course, it's important. Taking care of the body, like yesterday we were discussing in the class, that taking care of the body is also very, very important. But why it's important to take care of the body? Because the body is the instrument through which we can uh, get out of the body. Krishna says, Punarjanma na vidyate. In Bhagavad Gita, many places Krishna explains. He never says that, I will save you from death. No, he said, don't. He's not saying that avoid death. No, he never said that try to avoid death. He's focusing more on try to avoid birth. Punarjanma na vidyate. Punarjanma naiti. He's focusing on punarjanma. Don't take birth again. He's not saying that don't undergo death. Death is sure. Krishna is focusing more on birth. Don't take birth. Because once we take birth, death is sure. So why to avoid death? Try to avoid something which is not possible. Death, anyway, everyone. Jatasya dhruvam mrityu, dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Tasmat aparihare arthe, na tvam sochitum arhasi. Krishna said, Tasmat to aparihare arthe. Aparihare means it is mandatory, it is compulsory, you must die. There is no option. 100%, everyone has to die. Anyone who has taken birth. So, why to try to avoid death? Birth, death, janma, mritu, jara, vyadhi, dukkha, dosanu, darsanam. Why to try to avoid something which is, fixed? It has to come. We have no option. So therefore, Krishna is focusing, don't take birth again. You live your life in such a way that don't come back again and go back to Godhead. So even if you make 1 inch advancement in that direction, that is real gain, real, and anyone who helps us to advance in that direction, he is our real well-wisher. Like Srila Prabhupada is to write, your ever well-wisher. Otherwise, again taking birth and then dying, then birth, then death, then birth and then death. We accumulate so many things and then, one day it will be taken away, everything will be taken away. So the intelligent person will never, if someone is really intelligent, then he can understand very easily why to create sand castles. Go anyway, it is going to be finished. You create and then it is destroyed. So real advancement, real welfare is that taking care of the soul. And that is real welfare. So Vyasadeva ji, he knows this, so therefore he is thinking, and then out of his compassion for the living entities, suffering humanity, suffering living entity, Vyasadeva wrote the books of knowledge, literatures. That is the real welfare. And so that people can read them, become Krishna conscious and go back to Godhead. So after writing all these literatures, he was dissatisfied. And this is the sign of something like, if we are dissatisfied, means that we are not doing things as per the Lord's desire. We have not completely fulfill the desires of the Lord. Krishna is dissatisfied. So he is feeling dissatisfied even after so much welfare and good work. Service, it's also a kind of service to the Lord. Writing Vedic literature is very, very important service to the Lord. And Vyasadeva is the incarnation of the Lord himself. Satyavasa empowered incarnation. He was empowered by the Lord. So dissatisfaction is the sign that, yes, tushtam jagat tushta. If you satisfy Krishna, then we also get satisfied. And one says, if Krishna is dissatisfied, we will remain dissatisfied. So somehow Krishna is, in spite of writing all these things, Krishna is not satisfied. So Vyasadeva is also feeling dissatisfied. And he is not able to understand why I am dissatisfied. And Narad Muni comes, and then his spiritual master, so he seeks guidance from the spiritual master. And Narad ji explains. Then he says that why I am dissatisfied in spite of doing so much seva. Like sometimes we do so much seva, but still we are dissatisfied. So then we should approach spiritual master and ask, in spite of doing so much seva, why I am dissatisfied? Like Arjuna is asking Krishna. Karpanya doso apasvavam prikshami tvam dharma sammud cheta yad shreyasya atnisitam bruhitan sisyastyam sadivam tvam prapannam nahi prapasyami mama apnudyat jat shokam uchshoshanam indriyanam avapya bhumau asapatnam riddhim rajyam suranam api chadipatyam. Krishna says, Arjuna is saying, I am feeling that shoka, lamentation, so much grief in my heart, and this will not go away. This grief which I am feeling in my heart is not going to end. Even if I get the kingdom of the demigods, even if I become the king of the heaven, this is not going to go away. It's so much painful for me. So then kindly guide me, give me direction, what is good for me. So similarly, Vyasadeva asking Naradji, and Naradji is in response replying, and he is saying that you have done wonderful thing, you have written many literatures, but one thing which is most important, you have not written Srimad Bhagavatam so far. So why you have not written Srimad Bhagavatam? Then he says, who is qualified to hear Srimad Bhagavatam? If you give pure milk to a baby, baby cannot digest. That's why you have to mix water in the milk, and then mother gives milk to child, mixing water. So somebody may say, why this mother, she doesn't love the child. Why she is mixing water? Saving money. It's not that mother doesn't want to give pure milk, but it's the child who doesn't have the ability to digest pure milk. So therefore, diluted milk is given. And that is because so that it can digest. So similarly, Vyasadeva gave diluted Krishna consciousness. We can say diluted Krishna consciousness or mixed devotional service, we can say. Or maybe some places even not devotional service. To attract different kind of people with different mindset, different mentality. So it says something is better than nothing. Or just blind uncle is better than no uncle. At least people will do something, So he was not feeling confident that if I give Krishna consciousness, people, like sometimes we also don't feel confident to directly speak on the Krishna's pastimes, isn't it? If you go to new people, new audience, and you start speaking to Krishna's pastimes, people will, what is this, they cannot appreciate. So that's why we see what kind of audience is, and then accordingly we dilute, adjust, or you can say adjust the masses so that people can relate to. If they are in condition like they are on bodily platform, then you have to talk about their body also, You cannot directly talk about you are not this body and your soul. Of course, that is absolute truth. But at the same time, you have to guide them how to balance the body and soul and all these things. So that is like what Vyasdev is very expert. Therefore, he is trying to present Vedic literature in such a way that all the conditioned, even the conditioned souls can appreciate it and can try to apply and gradually advance in Krishna consciousness. But then he was dissatisfied because he could not give the pure thing, pure Krishna consciousness, pure devotional service. He did mixing. That's why धर्म पुरजित कैतो अत्र परमो निर्मत्सरणाम सताम विद्यम वास्तवमत्र वस्तु त्रयदम शिवदम ताप त्रयोन्मूलनम. So this projita, kaitava dharma, the cheating religion. Cheating religion is dharma, arth, kama and moksha, which is presenting the philosophy so that people can follow the dharma. Purpose of following the dharma is earn the money, artha, artha, and then fulfill their material desires. And then ultimately, if they get frustrated in the process, if, that's not sure, then they can approach moksha, liberation, ask for liberation. And if that also possible only if they meet, genuine spiritual master. Then only such inquiry comes, athato brahma jigyasa. It's not easy. And they get proper answer of their questions. And then they understand, that the purpose of life is to get out of the life. Cycle of birth and death. That is the purpose. So yes, so he was not feeling confident, but then Narad Muni came and told him very clearly that don't lose confidence, write Srimad Bhagavatam. And don't worry, it will work. People will appreciate it. Present it, pure knowledge, present pure knowledge. People will appreciate. Then he said, how, I cannot, can you give some example, some logic, some to understand this? Because sometimes people like us cannot understand, how it will work. If I give Bhagavatam, if I go to US or in Europe and I speak Bhagavatam directly, who is going to listen, like people will not appreciate. They don't even know Krishna, So let's put, International Society for God Consciousness. Dilute it, Prabhupada was proposed. Someone proposed to Prabhupada, let's dilute, put it God consciousness, because Krishna consciousness people will not appreciate. Prabhupada said, no, put Krishna consciousness, Krishna is God. Because he was confident, Srila Prabhupada was very confident, And Naradji is saying that, see, my own life is the example. My own life. I was not a great scholar. I was not born in Brahminical family or very highly elevated family. My mother was a simple maid servant. She was just serving people, basic, not very rich family, not well educated background family. Just I served the Bhakti Vedantas, and heard from them pure message of Srimad Bhagavatam. And just by their association, just by taking their remnants, he will continue further ahead. And they were speaking pure Krishna consciousness, and somehow while serving I was hearing them, and that empowered me to become Narada. Now I am Narad Muni. From a 5-year-old boy, now I am Narad Muni. So it's very powerful. Do not underestimate the power of Krishna Katha. So Naradji is explaining, and this is the verse, this is, just after this he starts explaining about his life. This verse is the last verse, and after that Narada gives his own example. You just see that, spiritual master is citing his own example, life example, to convince the disciple, Vyasadeva. And so he is saying here that learned circles have positively concluded that the infallible purpose of the advancement of knowledge austerity, study of the Vedas, sacrifice, chanting of hymns, charity. This all culminates in transcendental description of the Lord, who is defined in choice poetry. So, so wonderful poetry you write, but you just like people write novels, Harry Potter, so popular, in and Harry Potter they write, but there is no mention of Krishna. You have poetic ability, you have novel writing ability. Each one of us has got some ability. Each one. And Krishna consciousness is not that you give up your ability. No. Krishna consciousness is not that. If you are a singer, you can sing well, stop singing. There are some religion in the world, they don't like singing, Music, they ban actually music. That no, if you play music, they will cut your throat. They say that our God doesn't like the music. We don't like music, But Krishna consciousness is not like that. Krishna says the music is also coming from Krishna. Whatever ability we have, from where all the abilities are coming? It is coming from the Krishna. The Lord has given. Aham sarvasya prabho mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhav samanvita. Everything comes from me. He is the source. So he has, even we have come from Krishna, and all our abilities have come from Krishna. Krishna says that I am the, anyone is doing any wonderful things, understand that there is my spark of my splendor is there present in that vibhuti. So therefore, Krishna consciousness is not negation or rejection of the wonderful qualities we have. Somebody has painting ability, like these wonderful devotees has created so many wonderful painting. And same ability before coming Krishna consciousness, devotee were using for sense gratification, painting for sense gratification, singing for sense gratification. Like they used to sing movie songs, and after coming Krishna consciousness, they singing to glorify Krishna. So you don't have to stop singing, but just change the topic of singing. Topic of singing should not be sense gratification, but Krishna's glorification, Krishna's description. So that's what like Vyasdev is saying here, that like Valmiki ji had great poetic ability. So he did not use that poetic ability to write cinema songs describing the beauty, material beauty of the body of man and woman. Anyway is going to die. So he used his poetic ability for what? To describe the beauty of Krishna. Lord Ramachandra's pastime, Valmiki, although. And similarly, Vyasdeva, he was a great author, writer. So he used his ability to write about Krishna. So similarly, Prabhupada is mentioning that art, literature, science, poetry, painting, even science. Prabhupada says science can be utilized. It's not that we should not study modern science. Sometimes after getting connected to Krishna consciousness, it comes in mind of devotees that, oh, why I am wasting my time studying material science, doing PhD research and this and that. No, I am just wasting that time. I can utilize in studying Srimad Bhagavatam. No. Wherever Krishna has put you, use that situation, that opportunity to serve Krishna. If suppose you are a professor or you are an IAS officer, like a bureaucrat, you don't have to give up your bureaucrat position and come and join like Krishna consciousness movement and leave that. No. Wherever you are, you can serve Krishna. Everybody cannot leave everything and just take up renounce order of life. So wherever we are, we can utilize that to serve Krishna. Like sometime past time, Srila Prabhupada past time, we have heard that George Harrison, he asked Srila Prabhupada once that some devotees are suggesting I should, save my head. Everybody is saving the head. So I should also save my head and I should also join temple life. Srila Prabhupada said, no, don't do that. Your strength is music and you are very popular outside. So you use that popularity, that music, and you are very famous. Use that fame also to describe Krishna, to glorify Krishna, to attract people towards Krishna. So he followed Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was such a mature spiritual master, you see, such a advanced spiritual master that he engaged seeing his talent and he could serve so much. Someone is doing study of science, physics, psychology. You can use that. It's like Bhakti Dhir Damodar Swami Maharaj. He was a scientist. And Srila Prabhupada told him that use your scientific knowledge to preach to the scientist. If I am not a scientist and I go to speak to scientists, they will say, do you know this what do you say, quark theory. Quark theory, I don't know. It's not there in Srimad Bhagavatam. So they say, you don't know at all anything. How will you teach us? But in their language only we have to answer. Like suppose I come and preach in Germany and I start giving lecture in Hindi. I have to speak to their language. I have to translate the Krishna consciousness in their language. So similarly, we have to translate the same knowledge of Bhagavatam in modern scientific language, where scientists can relate to. Modern science, language of modern science, same knowledge of Bhagavatam. If you try talk in their language, like they use this quark theory and so many things. So Prabhupada many times he used that technique using modern science, like anti-material particle Prabhupada used in Easy Journey to Other Planets. Yes. Some scientists had discovered, anti-material. They were saying that we are thinking of anti-material. And Prabhupada used that opportunity to write a book. So he was not saying that this is all Maya. No, he is using everything. Whatever scientific discoveries, like multiverse theory they are proposing nowadays, Multiverse theory, there are multiple universes, and which already there in Srimad Bhagavatam. So we can use this scientific knowledge to explain. So sometimes we see even the devotees, they become fanatic. They'd say, Prabhuji, I want to give up everything. This is all Maya. Study of physics, chemistry, science is all Maya. It's Maya if we don't engage in Krishna's service. But same thing, like Prabhupada used to give example of electricity. If the same electricity, same power, if we connect to the refrigerator, it cools. And the same electricity, if we connect it to the heater, it creates heat, generates heat. Electricity is the same. It's not that the electricity which is going in the fridge is cold electricity, and electricity which is going in the heater is hot electricity. It's not like that. Electricity is the same. Only thing is that if it is connected to how we are engaging that electricity. So same energy of the Lord, if it is we are utilizing it for sense gratification, then it becomes Maya. Same physics, chemistry, if we use to describe, glorify Krishna, then it is, Krishna consciousness. Same physics, same chemistry. So Bhakti Dhir Damodar Maharaj, he Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, yes. He utilized all his scientific knowledge to preach to the scientists. Bhaktivedanta Institute Maharaj opened, and then he was preaching. Even many devotees are preaching scientifically. I many times give lecture, and I am also from some scientific background, engineering background. So sometimes I give logics of science, modern science, to explain. And when I go to give presentations, they ask, how, like, same, I am from India and from Bihar, but sometimes say, this English is Malayacha language. But the same English language Srila Prabhupada utilized, and spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. Sometimes people become too fanatic. Like one example, one devotee, I was giving presentation on glories of Vedic culture, and one student was sitting in the class, and he says, what kind of people you all are? You are talking about Vedic culture, but in your temple, you have Western style toilet. Why are you using Western style toilet if you are glorifying Vedic culture? This is called fanaticism. We have to see the purpose is to be served. What is the purpose? Purpose of toilet is to, clean the stomach. And then, if somebody is accustomed or has born and brought up in Western style, and then you tell him to sit on the Vedic style toilet, for him it will take 1 hour in the toilet. For him, he wastes so much time, and he will become unhealthy, sick, and then he will not be able to chant Hare Krishna. Purpose is to chant Hare Krishna, focus on reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna Katha, not in the toilet. It's called Operation Successful, Patient Dead. Sometimes it is called like that, that you have followed Vedic culture nicely, but nobody became devotee of Krishna. And that's what happening in India, many parts of India. People falsely, they follow Vedic culture. They're so proud of the Vedic culture. But they don't develop love for Krishna, because this is called like fanaticism, So we should we should understand this. We should go broad-mindedness. It says, "Ayam nija parobetti gananam laghu chetasam udar charitanam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam." The narrow-minded people. They are very, very, I am me and mine. This is me. This is my culture. This is your culture. This is your culture. This is not my culture. I am nija parobetti. That is Europeans' culture. This is my culture. So much I am me and mine, and talking about Vedic culture. Vedic culture is teaching us to become broad-minded. Udara charitanam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam. Those who are broad-minded, for them entire earth is their family. Whole earth, my family. It's not that this is this and this. Of course, there is variety, but we all are part and parcel of Krishna. We all are related in that way. And that relationship, one can see, in Bhagavad Gita says that Pandita Samadarshina, Vidya Vinay Sampanne, Brahmani Gavi Hastini, Sunichayo Supakecha Pandita Samadar. Those who are really knowledgeable people, they see everything equally. Samadarsi. Krishna is also Samadarsi. He doesn't say, hey, this is European, this is American, this is Indian. For Krishna, it's all Samadarsi. He sees all the living entities. Prabhupada also saw in the same way. He used to love everybody, irrespective of which background, cultural background he is. He encouraged everyone. Similarly, we being his follower, we should carry the same vision, same mode, and see the things in that way. So, like, we can utilize our knowledge, everything can be utilized in the service of Krishna. Western toilet also can be utilized in the service of Krishna, isn't it? So why not? Everything. And that is all actually Krishna consciousness. So uh, we should not think that I have to give up this, I have to give up this. No, let's think how I can engage this, to glorify Krishna. How I can utilize this. Srila Prabhupada said, utility is the principle. How we can utilize everything to glorify Krishna, and then that way perfect our life. So some like I was uh, I was from technical background, so I use my technical knowledge. Sometimes I explain, Heisenberg uncertainty principles, and explain to the scientific background people in their language. They see Heisenberg himself says that uncertainty in a wave and particle, it's uncertain. It is wave or particle, it's uncertain. So using those logics, and many times people get convinced, and then later on they start chanting Hare Krishna and becoming devotee. So that's what mentioned in this slogan. Nariji is saying that use everything to glorify Krishna, and that way our life will be successful. Whatever talent you have, utilize that in service of Krishna, and that way our life will be successful. Hare Krishna. So any question, comment? Yes.
Prabhuji, how to distribute Prabhupada's books to Indians? They often used to say, we know, I know Bhagavad Gita.
Yesterday we were talking about it.
Yeah, sometimes becoming Indian is a misfortune. Sometimes, so in India they say that those whose house are nearby the railway station,
They only
usually they can't attend their train on the time. They can't reach to the train on time, because they always say, oh, my home is just nearby railway station, just nearby railway station, just nearby railway station. They're overconfident, They cannot appreciate. So that is misfortune. What to do? That's why when Srila Prabhupada was preaching in India, hardly anybody listened. No one cared for, isn't it? He was struggling so much. Prabhupada used to say that if someone is saying that I know how to play mridanga, and then he has come to you that teach me mridanga, but he knows little bit. Prabhupada said you charge double. And someone says, I don't know anything about mridanga, well, teach me mridanga. I will charge you 500 rupees. And someone says, I know playing mridanga, and you teach me more. I will charge you 1,000. Why? Why will you charge me so much? I know already. You should charge me less. And Srila Prabhupada used to say that because you know in a wrong way. First I have to, reverse, your nonsense understanding, and then put the new understanding. Because they are so much habituated to wrong thing. And someone is fresh, he doesn't know anything, so you can very easy, like child, very easily they catch, So like that. So sometimes we see people who doesn't have Vedic background, they take up Krishna consciousness very seriously, very, very seriously. And they become so dedicated. We see the book we have read, Salted Bread, the Russian devotees. You cannot find something like that in India. So dedicated to Bhagavad Gita, spreading Bhagavad Gita, distributing. I have never seen someone taking so much risk in India to distribute Bhagavad Gita, like them. Some very, very rare such people in India. Although Indians, they say that they love their culture like many times, but they don't have that much dedication, that much faith on Krishna. The reason is that hoj pose, Mayavad, the influence of Mayavad, and so many isms they are influenced by due to the Kali Yuga. So that is the reason, Prabhu. How to do that? How to even Lord Chaitanya they are not taking seriously. That's why he has to take sannyas, His own students came to beat Lord Chaitanya. He took sannyas to create more influence, generate more influence. Sometimes we, like as a sadhu, we go, sometimes people, this he is a beggar, he's a beggar. What? They don't give importance. And then we announce title. He is from IIT Delhi. He is from Premier Institute. Oh, they become very attentive. This is called influence, Same person. The moment you describe, he is very well educated, he is expert in physics, chemistry, and then he is sadhu. Then they hear very carefully. Oh, yeah. Like that. Same people. Isn't it? Pay attention. It's good. So creating, that's why in such situation, we need to little think out of box. How to create that kind of influence to attract people. The first is to attract people, enroll, then educate. If people don't come at all, Prabhupada said that I can teach Krishna consciousness even in the forest, sitting in the hut, but who will come there? So therefore I am making big temples. And the people, when we make big temples, people automatically come. We don't have to go, People come there as a tourist, and then they see Lord and devotees, and then gradually they get attracted. So creating that kind of influence, in the beginning it helps to attract people, and then we have to educate them, enroll, then educate, then care, then inspire them. But first we need to attract people. For that we need to create influence. Like if the people say, oh, you people are beggar on this street, people, like in Prabhupada, when he was preaching in India, he started devoted to go for Harinam Sankirtan on the road. And when they would go on Harinam Sankirtan on the road, people took one coin they would throw on the devotees. Because in India, this is the trend, that to beggars, throw coin, they are beggar. And Prabhupada said, they stop this. You will not go on the street Sankirtan. Let's just start life membership program. Life membership patronship, life patronship program, where Prabhupada is distributing same books, but in a different way, he told. Because people take in a different way. When you do Sankirtan, like in India, if you go in the train, they sing bhajan and all these things. So the people have mindset that these are beggars, maybe one coin is enough for them. They don't know that we are missionaries and we are aiming to transform the whole world. They cannot say that unless you like. I went to one school, and the director of the school has called me for presentation. So I went, and a normal bag, simple bag, and I was going in a garden. Hey, Babaji, please stop, please, do not come inside. Babaji, please go away. This is a school.
You were invited by the
Director. And then I told, therefore I spoke in English. When he heard English from sadhu, educated sadhu, usually they think that sadhus are, uneducated. That is their mindset in India. We should understand this. The sadhus, those who cannot get job, those who cannot get education proper, they become sadhus in India. That is their mindset usually. So when they see sadhu, they think in that way. He is uneducated, he could not get job, maybe his wife has left him, maybe his family has rejected, that's why he became sadhus. That's the mindset. So they see in that way, skeptical. So when you speak in English or some influence we have to create, then they start taking seriously. So I told that I spoke in English. Tell your director she has invited me. So then he was, like the same person. Just one more sentence we spoke, and he changed the entire. Went, and director came out. And she was taking us inside. We gave presentation there. So same Krishna consciousness. We should see how people are visualizing. Accordingly, it should be presented, so that people are attracted. They listen us. Otherwise, they take us so cheaply, and they will not value us. Prabhupada said, if people don't value, they will create more offense, and they will get more, reactions. So how they respect us is very important, that devotees are properly Of course, devotees are not after respect. But if people disrespect, they will go to hell. So how to create such that they respect, even unconsciously, unknowingly, if they respect devotee, they will get the mercy. And they will advance in Krishna consciousness. They will get agyat sukriti. But if they offend devotees, then they will get agyat duskriti. And they will be punished for that. So how to ensure that people respect devotees properly? That is also very important. I hope that answers your question to some extent. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Sundar Gopal Prabhu ki jai. Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Today evening also we have a class with Prabhu, with Bhagavad Gita class, 6:30 after Gauradesh.
I know.